Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of The Awesome with C.O.D.Y. As usual, I'm your host, C.O.D.Y, and today we are continuing August's theme of awesome streaming television programs. So last week I talked about Amazon Prime Video. This week I'm talking about Apple TV Plus, which is a subscription service through Apple, not just a device. It's available on many different platforms, including a lot of smart TVs. It's available on, there's a ton of stuff it's really available on. There was a list of things. Here it goes. Supported on different operating systems: Mac OS, Windows, Android, Chrome OS. It's available on Apple TV, Select TVs, PlayStations, Xboxes, Roku's, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast with Google TV, amongst probably, a ton of different TV manufacturers, and it's not listed here as well. So yeah, I didn't know it's on LG TVs because I have one, and I know it's on there. So yeah, it's available pretty much anywhere you want to get it. Obviously, through the web, if you just want to use your laptop or desktop computer or whatever, is available to stream through that as well as mobile devices and tablets of all sorts and sizes. So that's that. So basically, Apple TV Plus has a ton of different content you can get, and they came out the gate swinging when they did it. So the service itself launched in the end of 2019. It's been roughly 21 months now, I guess. So it's coming up on its 2-year mark, and they came out the gate swinging. They had a bunch of stuff they were promoting for it with very popular people in it. There was a couple of them, and these aren't all the ones that were launched there. Well, let's see. Mythic Quest was, Servant was, C was, Morning Show was. So those ones were. For All Mankind was one of the other ones that was in there as well. That launched, I'm pretty sure, right around the same time. And I will have to look at it. Yeah, so it was one of the launch titles. November 1st was the release of those, and so on and so forth. A lot of stuff that came out. Servant was the end of the month, did not launch. So it was For All Mankind, the Morning Show, and the show C. Comedy-wise, Ghostwriter, Dickinson were right there. I guess Mythic Quest did come out later. Well, a couple months later, February of 2020. And then, they had a ton of stuff launch with it. Then it seemed like every other month they were just launching a bunch of other stuff. Everything from comedy stuff, drama stuff, movies, animated shows, documentaries, all sorts of crazy stuff was coming out left and right. So the shows I'm talking about real quickly here, I'm not going to go into crazy depth on them, just briefly. So the first one is The Morning Show. This is a drama for sure. It was basically it's about anchor of a morning show, popular breakfast news program that essentially goes through a bunch of shit. She's basically being looked at to be replaced with the younger, different face or whatever. There's a lot more to it. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. It's very involved. But it basically has to do with a sexual harassment case against one of the producers, and then a bunch of other shit snowballs. It's crazy, and it's a good show. I don't want to try to capsulate it too much and be like, well, this is what it's about. It's about a lot of things, but it is about a morning show anchor of a television program played by Jennifer Aniston in the show. The cast of this is a very strong cast. You have Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Billy Crudup, Mark Duplass. You have Steve Carell is in it. Juliana Margulies is in it. There's some other people too. Ton of recurring characters in it too. There's a bunch you'd probably recognize thrown in there, and a bunch of guest stars as well as themselves on some of them. And then because they're playing their fictional selves in this world, and then a bunch of other people in there too. Martin Short is in it at one point. There's so many people, I can't even go through the whole thing. First season is 10 episodes long. They've already greenlit for a second season, which is supposed to premiere September-ish of this year, 2021. So yeah, look out for that one. And it's based on a book called the Top of the Morning: Inside the Cutthroat World of Morning TV. It's the name of is what it's called. I have not read it. I did not know it was a book until much after I watched the first season. Actually, I think it was during first season, to tell you the truth, and I saw something in the credits or something like that. Might have been on the last episode. That's based on the works of, and then it had the list of the book and the gentleman's name, who is Brian Stelter, I think is how you pronounce his name. Anyways, that's the morning show. Next up is C. C is a very interesting television program. It has quite a bit of few good people in it. I don't know why I said it the way I did, but I did. The premise for this one, pretty easy to say. Basically, a virus wiped out the vision of a virus came through, killed out a bunch of people, like a couple million people, and the ones that survived, they basically lost their sense of sight. And so they've got to go through the centuries evolving to basically live without the ability to see. And then one day a child is born and they believe it has sight. And then that is very bad. So things go pretty south. It's pretty cool. It stars Jason Momoa as its main character. Sylvia, I think it's Hoax is how you say her name, is in it. There is the other big name, Alfre Woodard is in it, and then Dave Bautista will be in season 2, which I believe, I think it's later this year. Oh, here we go. Never mind. Haha, the second season is going to premiere the 27th of this year month. Boom, there you go. And it has been renewed for a third season. That's pretty cool. And there's promos up you can watch, and I'll have them on the website, as well as pictures of both. There's cool posters they released. One of Jason Momoa's character, name is Baba Voss, and there's one of Dave Bautista's character who his name is Otto Voss, which is going to be pretty cool because they're going to have some fight scenes in it, hopefully. So yeah, check it out. First season is 8 episodes long. I do not know how many episodes the second season is because they haven't told us yet. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool. The show is very interesting. There's a lot of cool little things they do with audio in it, as well as just the characters themselves and the world themselves, because they have to rely on other senses besides sight. Little things like tying ropes between houses so you can get to where you're going, echolocation stuff, all different things like that. Pretty awesome. So that's C, also on Apple TV. Next up, Servant. I have not finished the second season of this yet. Actually, I haven't. Okay, I should say this. I haven't started the second season of this show yet. I watched the first season. The second season came out January of this January of 2021, and then the third season, or it was renewed for a third season, like in December, right before the show premiered. So yeah, so essentially, this is another one of those shows, and this happens a few times on Apple TV because they took a chance on a lot of things. But this is one of them, which on paper I would have thought would have never worked, but it's real good. So this show is, I should tell you right now, was not created, I guess, was executive produced by M. Night Shyamalan, but it was created and written by a guy named Tony, and I'm going to mess this last name up because I usually do, but it's Basgalop, I think. I'm not too sure. He's a British television writer, and he wrote and created this, and then was executive produced by M. Night Shyamalan, so don't let that scare you away. I'm not going to say it's M. Night Shyamalan-y, because there's no real big... Well, I mean, there's some twists in it, but not like, oh my god, that's a twist. But essentially, so what this show is about is a wealthy Philadelphian couple, played by Toby Kebbell and Lauren Ambrose, experience a fracture in their marriage after the death of their 13-week-old son, Jericho. The couple undergo basically object therapy, using a lifelike reborn doll after Dorothy's experience of full psychiatric break. The doll, which Dorothy believes in her is her real child, was the only thing that brought her out of her catatonic state following Jericho's death. 6 weeks after his death, they hire a young nanny, played by Nell Tiger Free, that is her name, to move in and take care of Jericho, the reborn doll, opening their home to a mysterious force. While Sean deals with the grief of his own, he becomes deeply suspicious of Leanne, played by Nell Tiger Free, the nanny. That is definitely the best way of putting this show. I'm not going to spoil anything for you because I believe you need to watch it for yourself and check it out. So the cast is actually pretty cool. So Lauren Ambrose plays Dorothy Turner. Toby Kebbell plays her husband, Sean Turner. Nell Tiger Free plays Leanne Grayson, the mysterious young nanny. Rupert Grint, yes, that Rupert Grint of Harry Potter fame. I guess Ron Weasley, if you guys don't know who Rupert Grint is. It plays Julian Pierce, who is the younger brother of Lauren's Dorothy's character. And then you have guest appearances. Only one really big one that I thought of note on there was M. Night Shyamalan himself, and he's actually the delivery guy from the company Reborn. And it's pretty crazy. So yeah, check it out. If you like thrillers, if you like suspenseful stuff, check it out. It's pretty gnarly show. Called Servant. It's on Apple TV. The first season, first 2 seasons are 10 episodes. Like I said, I have not watched the second season yet. And after the first season, you really have to. I mean, it takes a toll because there's a lot of shit going on. But yeah, that's it. Like, just check it out. It's pretty awesome if you like suspenseful stuff. If you like a lot of the stuff, like, it's not exactly like it, but American Horror Story or that show Evil was on CBS, is now on Paramount Plus. What other stuff I can put out to you? It's not so much Supernatural, the show, like that, or Angel or Buffy or any of those ones. It's closer to, well, actually, American Horror Story kind of got ruined. But if you like the first season of American Horror Story, I would say that's very close to it. With Dylan McDermott and all that fun stuff. So yeah, check it out. It is called Servant, and it's available on Apple TV right now. First 2 seasons. Check them out. The second season could be terrible. I don't know. I haven't heard any bad things about it, and they're pretty happy with it, so they gave it a 3rd season before it premiered. So they must have liked whatever they had going. Anyhow, and next up, we have For All Mankind. For All Mankind is, again, one of those shows that they just took a chance on. So it's a science fiction alternative history drama. Now, let me explain what this means. So basically, it's a science fiction show based on the space race, and how that basically came about. So, if you're not familiar with the space race is the race for different countries to be the first country to land on the moon during the space race in the late 1960s. So we're talking Neil Armstrong, and basically, the people who went to the moon for the first time. So in this world, and I won't bury the lead. Actually, I won't even spoil it. Actually, you know what? I'll bury the lead. No. Yeah, I won't say it. So there's a pretty surprising twist in it. What basically goes down in it that basically leads to the alternative history of the show, and you really need to check it out. It's very well written, extremely well acted. The graphics are phenomenal in it. The first 2 seasons are out. There are 10 episodes each. I believe it was renewed for a 3rd season, basically ahead of the premiere of the 2nd season, and the cast is phenomenal. It stars Joel Kinnaman, Michael Dorman, Sarah Jones, Chantel Von Santen, I think is how you say her name. There's a lot of other people in there too. A lot of people you'll be like, I recognize that person, and you may not be able to pinpoint where you know that person from, but you will recognize them, and they are all real good at it. And it's just check it out. Like I said, it's I'm trying not to spoil it because there's a lot of cool shit that happens in it, and when you get to the end of the first season, you're gonna be like, excuse me, what now? So check it out. It's For All Mankind on Apple TV now. You can check it out wherever you watch Apple TV stuff. For whatever reason, I said it that way. Next up is Mythic Quest. Mythic Quest is another one of those things that is interesting the way it came about, and I won't go into it too much, but basically it is a television program that was basically created with the help of Ubisoft, the video game company, and their company, their version, or their production company called Ubisoft Films and Television, as well as Lionsgate and 3 Arts Entertainment, which leads into the creators of the show. So the show was created by 2 very well-known people and a third person who definitely needs some credit going forward because they are pretty awesome. So it was created by Charlie Day and Rob McElhaney of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fame, and Megan Gans. So Megan Gans, I didn't know too much about her at all because I had never really heard about her, and when I looked at the shows she's made or worked on, I am a fan of her stuff. So she worked on Community. She was a staff writer on that for a handful of episodes. Probably a lot more than what she's credited as, because she probably co-wrote a bunch or assisted writing on a bunch of them. But she also worked on Modern Family. She worked on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, The Last Man on Earth, and of course Mythic Quest. She wrote a handful of episodes as well as helped create it. And I believe she's I don't think she's actually the showrunner of the program. I think she's just one of the executive producers. I don't actually know who the showrunner of it is, and I don't think this tells me. Anyhow, it's fantastic. It's super hilarious. So basically, the show is about this dude played by Rob McElhaney, named Ian or Ian, depending on who you want to talk to, who basically created an MMORPG or massive multiplayer online RPG game or role-playing game, I guess, if I'm going to say the whole thing out loud. And he basically made this huge amount of, it's basically World of Warcraft, if you know what that is. It's like that, but ridiculous. And then he basically started this company to produce more and more of it, and it got huge. And the first season is basically about them getting ready to launch their new expansion pack for the game, which is supposed to be the biggest expansion yet of the game's history. And Ian, played by Rob, is the creative director, which basically means he gets to coordinate everything, goes through, and they basically have to listen to his ridiculous ideas, which there are quite a few of them because he is an eccentric-ass motherfucker in this show. And then a bunch of other people in the show. Ashley Birch plays Rachel, one of the game testers. You have David Hornsby, who plays the executive producer of the game, by the name of David Brittlesby, I think is his name. And if you don't know who David Hornsby is, he's Rickety Cricket on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's also one of the writers, one of the producers, as well as he's married to Emily Deschanel from the television show Bones, and is the sister of Zoe Deschanel. So that's who that is, if you don't know who David Hornsby is. And he's amazing, too. So you have David. So you have David Hornsby. You have Danny Pudi. You have F. Murray Abraham, who is fucking phenomenal in the show. He's the head writer of the narrative for the video game, and a bunch of other people. Again, some you probably will recognize from somewhere, but you may not be able to really recognize and know exactly who they're from, but you've seen a bunch of them. And they've released 2 seasons and a special. The special is essentially a Christmas special, and what's pretty cool, and it's 2 parts, Quarantine and Everlight, right? Yeah. So and they're pretty funny, but they're shot via the Ian's phone. I think both parts are actually. So it's interesting. And then, of course, the second season, 10 episodes first season, 10 episodes the second season, and greenlit or already signed up for a third season, I believe, already set in stone. Maybe not. Actually, I don't know if they've actually done a third season commitment yet. I don't see it listed here, so I could be wrong about that. But the second special episode will be coming out on the 16th, or came out on the 16th of April of this year. And then, like I said, I think they're planning to do more with it going forward. I don't know if they've actually announced it yet or not. I thought they did, but apparently I'm wrong because I do not see it listed here. But that's Mythic Quest. It is hilarious, and I highly suggest you check it out. Lastly, but not leastly, we have Ted Lasso. So if you want to hear more about this and my feelings on this, because I will talk about it a little bit now, but most of it was talked about on a podcast that I do with Joe and Mike sometimes, and sometimes Tosh and other people. But anyways, basically, Joe and I had a conversation about Ted Lasso on the main podcast, which I believe will be coming out this coming Friday, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember. Actually, no. I think, did Ted Lasso's episode come out? We recorded. We have a few of them recorded. Let me look right now. I'll tell you if it was that one or not, because I could be completely and utterly wrong about that. No, Ted Lasso was last week. So yeah. So check out Ted Lasso. That is last week's episode, last Friday. And then tune in this Friday for another episode, because we'll have that too. So anyways, that's it. That's it for that. So Ted Lasso, for the folks who haven't listened or don't want to listen to that other episode and just want to hear me ramble real quickly. So basically, Ted Lasso is a television program created by Jason Sudeikis, who also stars in it as Ted Lasso, Bill Lawrence, Brandon Hunt, and Joe Kelly. So Bill Lawrence is most famously known for being the creator of Scrubs, Cougar Town, Undateable, a couple other things in there too. Writer on a bunch of shit. Brennan Hunt is a comedian and writer, actor as well. And then Joe Kelly, who I had to look up, also worked on a bunch of stuff with Jason Sudeikis, and I believe is very good friends with Jason Sudeikis, and has written a lot of different things as well. So basically, the whole premise of the show actually started as a promo for NBC Sports coverage of the Premier League, and they created this character named Ted Lasso, who is essentially a fictitious coach of a Division II college football team first year out, wins a cup or a bowl or whatever you want to. I think a bowl cup is soccer for sure, and then is hired on by AFC Richmond in England to basically be their head coach. And like I said on the main podcast, and I'll say it again here, it's a setup a la the movie Major League, if you've ever seen that before. Which you have. If you haven't, you should probably watch that because it's a fantastic sports comedy movie. But basically, the wife and now current owner of the Greyhounds, as they're known, AFC Richmond, she gets the team who was her husband's pride and joy and his favorite thing in life, other than cheating on her with younger women. In the divorce, she gets control of the team. And she wants to destroy it. So she brings in this guy who became famous around the world because of a viral video that showed him dancing in the locker room with his team. And he's a goofball, and he has all these different outlooks on life that are just ridiculous. And so she believes that he's going to help bring the team down because A, he's American, B, he knows nothing about soccer or football, as it's known over there, and she is just willing to let this team bottom out and die because she wants to watch what her ex-husband loved burn to the ground, and so on and so forth. So that's the premise. Jason Sudeikis plays Ted Lasso, this upbeat, always down to do the best thing possible for the team, for his players, everything like that, and it's just hilarious to watch, and it's funny. It has really good heart and drama in it. There's amazing characters, amazing actors. Don't worry, it's not a whole lot of sports. So if you're like, I don't want to watch sports, it's not going to be about sports because I said the same thing. But it's got a little bit of it, but not. It's all character-driven stuff, so it's not like it's all story. It's not like a whole episode on just a game or whatever. Just well told stories and very well developed characters and well developing characters, I should say, because they're still really pushing them going into the second season. There are a total of right now 13 episodes, 2 seasons. The first season was 10 episodes. The second season, which is out now, I believe is tentatively set for 12 episodes. I think is what they said. I could be wrong about that, but I think they listed it as 12. Anyhow, second season just started. First season's fantastic. Episodes are anywhere from 40-something minutes to almost an hour. No, these ones are shorter. These ones like 30, 35 minutes. But fantastic show, amazing, and won a bunch of awards, nominated for a ton of other ones, a bunch of different Emmys, daytime as well as primetime, which is weird because... Actually, did they get daytime? I can't remember. I know they got primetime Emmys and things like that because you can watch it whenever you want because it's a streaming service, but I do believe they're technically on during the day. I don't know. Anyways, that was that for Ted Lasso. Check it out now on Apple TV. It's the most current one they have. In the third episode of season 2 just came out. This past Friday, or second episode of this season. I can't remember which one it was. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's so good. You should watch it. I love it. You check out the other podcast so I talk more about it as much as possible. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah, so tune in next week when I talk about Disney Plus here on this here podcast. And go from there. That's it, everybody. Thanks for listening. Same talk time, same talk place, or whatever I said before. This has been The Awesome C.O.D.Y. I have been your host, C.O.D.Y. And as usual, I like to say, let's be awesome.